Isn't April a marvellous month? Spring sunshine, spring flowers, everything at once seems bright and happy. Today we are going to talk about various aspects of springtime and April, and we hope you'll join us. One of the most striking things about this time of year, I suppose, is the way nature suddenly comes back to life. The flowers are in bloom and the fruit trees are in blossom. Notice that we say a plant is in bloom when it has flowers. The flowers are in bloom. But we say the fruit trees are in blossom. The fruit trees are in blossom. Blossom is the flowers which the trees have, which promises fruit. Another thing about the spring is the showers of rain. Perhaps there is not so much rain in Yugoslavia as there is in Britain, but still there are April showers. A shower is a sudden, short fall of rain, which often happens in the spring. Well, April has many sides to it. New green leaves, flowers in bloom, and fruit trees in blossom, and the showers of rain now and then. But one of the most unforgettable things about April is April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day is, of course, April the 1st, and many people keep up the tradition of trying to make fools of each other on that day. Nobody really seems to know how the tradition started, but it's certainly a good opportunity to have a good laugh and a bit of light-hearted fun. The details of April Fool's Day are different in every country, but many people celebrate it everywhere. In Britain, you must make a fool of somebody before 12 o'clock midday, before noon. Otherwise, if you do it afterwards, you are the fool yourself. The point of April Fool's Day is, of course, to try to make somebody believe something ridiculous, or to play a joke of some kind on them. If you succeed, you call them April Fool. Some of the students at Skopje University have been having a good time on April Fool's Day, as you will now see.
Hello, what are you doing?
Oh, hello, Jana. We're just trying to get this radio to work.
Why do you want your radio out here in the park? Isn't the sound of the birds singing enough for you?
Just trying to hear the news. Someone just told us we should listen. It seems something terrible has happened.
Oh dear, what?
Oh, we won't know until we get this radio to work. I can't think what's the matter with it. It was working fine this morning when I got up.
Is it often that it goes wrong then?
Oh no, it often goes wrong, but it's always been all right when I've blown on it.
When you what?
When he blows on it. He was doing it just now, but it didn't work. I tried too.
Blowing on a radio? Ever heard of blowing on a radio to make it work?
You obviously don't know much about the way a radio works. If you blow on it, it helps the radio waves to reach it.
Yes, didn't you know?
No, I certainly didn't. It doesn't sound very likely to me.
Oh, it's a well-known fact. Radios are very sensitive things, though, so the breath has to be just the right temperature and force. If it's too hot or you blow too hard, it won't work. Perhaps my breath was too hot today.
The effect of the spring.
This is amazing. Do you mean to say you can often blow on your radio and it starts working?
That's right.
Show me how you blow.
Well, I can't at the moment because Emma and I have been blowing all over it and we've disturbed the radio waves.
Well, just give me an example without blowing on the radio.
Oh,
You can blow the other way.
Do you think she should?
No.
That's what I did too, but it didn't have any effect.
You see, everybody's breath is different, and each radio needs a special kind of breath. It can't be just any breath.
If your breath and Emma's breath won't work, perhaps mine will. Let me blow on the radio.
Do you think she should?
Well, if she's very careful, it might work. Wait a minute, blow in my hand first.
What?
Blow in his hand.
Right, excellent. It feels just right to me. A nice warm breath. All right, stand here, blow on this radio. Oh, not so close. Here, right, ready, steady, go.
I did it! It's working!
Yeah, it is. I've just turned it on.
April Fool!
Well, Philip and Emilia may have played a trick on Snezana, but there's still time for her to get her own back. Do you know that expression? When somebody plays a trick on somebody who has played a trick on them before, we say that he gets his own back. To get one's own back. To play a joke on somebody back. Let's forget about April Fool's Day for the moment and think more generally about the springtime. Spring has been a very popular subject of many poems in all ages, but perhaps particularly in Shakespeare's day. One of Shakespeare's songs is all about the springtime and lovers. It comes in As You Like It, a comedy about love. The song is all about a lover and his lass. A lass means a girl. The lover and his girl are walking through the fields, the acres of rye, and they are deciding that life is but a flower. Life is very short, and it should be enjoyed at its best, in its prime. There are many meaningless words in the song, which are just supposed to make it livelier. For example, hey nonny no is just like la la la. Well, let's listen now while Philip Korzeniowski recites the song to you.
It was the lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, that over the green cornfields did pass in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing a ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. Between the acres of the rye, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, these pretty country folks would lie in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing a ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. This carol they began that hour, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, how that a life was but a flower in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing a ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring. And therefore take the present time, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, for love is crowned with the prime in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing a ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers love the spring.
Spring is very often connected with love, of course. The next poem you're going to hear talks about sowing the seeds of love. To make anything grow, we must plant seeds. From the seeds, the plants will grow. To sow seeds. Seeds are sown in the spring to make plants or trees grow. The girl in the next poem compares love to sowing seeds. She says that she sows the seeds and makes them grow. But she is not free to choose which flower she likes best. The gardener chooses some flowers for her, but she doesn't like any of them. She says that she will wait until the red rose blooms in June. Then she will pick the rose and sit below the willow tree, and the willow tree will wrap itself around her like a lover's arms. It is not known who wrote this poem called The Seeds of Love. It is recited to you now by Snežana Spasovska.
I sowed the seeds of love, and I sow them in the spring. I gathered them up in the morning so soon, when the small birds sweetly sing. My garden was planted well, with flowers everywhere, but I had not the liberty to choose for myself the flower that I loved so dear. My gardener standing by, I asked to choose for me. He chose for me the violet, the lily and the pink, but these I refused all three. The violet I didn't like, because it fades so soon. The lily and the pink I did overthink, and vowed I would wait till June. In June is the red, red rose, and that is the flower for me. I oftentimes have plucked that red rose bud and gained a willow tree. The willow tree will twist, and the willow tree will twine. I wish I were in that young man's arms that once had his heart of mine. She's coming, are you ready?
Oh, Emma, what have you done to your face? Oh, my goodness.
Are you all right? What are those marks all over your face? What happened to you?
What are you talking about? What's the matter? What marks?
There? There? Oh, what is it?
Doesn't it hurt? It looks terrible, such big red marks.
Big red marks? What are you talking about? Where?
Here? And here?
They gone now?
No, whatever can they be?
Wait a minute. Come here, Emma. Let me try wiping them off.
You've made this bit. Allow me.
That's better. There's still a bit left. Haven't you got a mirror? Have a look. Can't you remember how you got those marks all over your face?
No, I can't think of any reason. Good heavens! What the...
April Fool!
We're going to look at two more poems now, and both of them are about a very common spring flower, the daffodil. This is, of course, one of the brightest flowers in the spring with its yellow and orange colour. Daffodil, one of the best known spring flowers. The poem you are going to hear now compares the life of cities and kingdoms and all power to that of the lifetime of a flower. The poet uses the word throne to mean a kingdom or a king or a ruler. A throne is actually the place where a king sits, the chair which he sits in. Although cities and kingdoms and power last a very short time, yet they are born again, like the flower in the springtime. The poet also compares them to the daffodil, because this year's daffodil doesn't know what happened to last year's daffodil, and people are the same. They think that their cities, their kingdoms, all their works will last forever. The poem is by Rudyard Kipling, and it is recited to you now by Emilia Sarzowska.
Cities and thrones and powers stand in time's eye, almost as long as flowers which daily die. But as new buds put forth to glad new men, out of the spent and unconsidered earth, cities rise again. This season's daffodil, she never hears what change, what chance, what chill cut down last year's. But with a bold countenance and knowledge small, esteems her 7 days' continuance to be perpetual. So time that is o'erkind to all that be, ordains us, even as blind, as bold as she, that in our very death and burial sure, shadow to shadow, well persuaded safe, see how our works endure.
Our last poem today is by a 17th century poet called Robert Herrick, and the poem is called To Daffodils. The poet is weeping or crying to see the daffodils die so soon, before midday. He asks them to live longer until the evening, and then they can go along together. The poet is thinking of the shortness of man's life, like the life of the daffodil. Everything decays. That means everything goes bad. Everything goes back to nothing. Herrick says, we all die like the summer rain, or like the dew in the morning. Dew is the drops of water we find in the morning on the grass and over everything. To Daffodils by Robert Herrick. Fair daffodils, we wait to see thee haste away so soon. As yet the early rising sun has not attained his noon. Stay, stay, until the hasting day has run but to the evensong, and then, having prayed together, we will go with you along. We have short time to stay as you. We have as short a spring, as quick a growth to meet decay as you or anything. We die as your hours do, then die away like to the morning rain, or as the pearls of morning's dew, never to be found again. There is a song which fits in very well with what we have been talking about today, and we are going to sing it to you in a minute. First, let's read the words together, and I'll explain the new words to you. The song is by Simon and Garfunkel, and it talks about the coming and the going of the months, and compares it with the growth and the death of love. Love is born in the spring, in April, and dies when the autumn comes, in September. Let's read the words together. April, come she will, when streams are ripe and swelled with rain. The word ripe means fully developed. It is usually used about fruit which is ready to eat. Swelled means become bigger. The streams, the small rivers, have become bigger because of the rain in the winter. May, she will stay, resting in my arms again. June, she'll change her tune. In restless walks she'll prowl the night. Everything changes in June, and the lover becomes restless, prowling in the night time. To prowl is usually used about animals when they go about looking for something, usually to eat or steal. July, she will fly, and give no warning to her flight. August, die she must. The autumn winds blow chilly and cold. Chilly means rather cold. September, I'll remember, a love once new has now grown old. Well, that's the song. Now you can hear the beautiful tune that Simon and Garfunkel wrote for those words. Vladimir Stefanovsky plays the guitar.
she'll promenade. July, she will fly and give no warning to her flight. August, die she must. The autumn winds blow chilly and cold. September, I'll remember. My love once new has now grown old.
Hello. Sunbathing again, I see. Don't you ever do any work?
He doesn't need to. He's a genius.
There may be some truth in that.
Just listen to him. Haven't even told him yet.
Told me what?
I don't think we should tell him. It might spoil him forever.
Oh, do spoil me. What happened?
Let him find out for himself.
That's not very friendly, Emma. You never know. If we're nice to him, we may get something out of it too.
Like what?
Like an appearance on the show or
You
something.
must be joking. He won't even want to know us when he finds out. We won't be good enough for him.
Appearance on the show? What are you talking about? Appearances shows, I understand that about you not being good enough for me. But I don't understand the word of the rest.
Well, he's going to find out sooner or later, and I'd rather tell him myself than let the director tell him.
Director? What director?
The director of this television program. He's very impressed with your acting and wants you to appear on television regularly.
That's not definite, though.
He said I was a good actor? He wants me on TV every week?
Don't know about every week. It might even be every day if they make you an announcer.
An announcer?
Stop repeating everything we say. She said announcer. You know, someone who tells what programs are going to be on and reads the news?
Well, then I suppose I am rather photogenic.
Oh, you're just born for TV, Philip.
Look, what a face, what a voice.
I'll go see him now. Perhaps I can sign a contract today.
Philip, by the way,
Is there anything else he said?
No, but we have something to tell you.
What?
April Fool!
Oh, God.